I don't like mermaids. And that's for one reason. I just can't handle the fact they are half fish, half mammal. Like, come on, choose one or the other. Regardless of how I feel about that, I really don't mind the idea of mermaids. They have some cool lore that includes causing shipwrecks, storms, drownings, and flooding. You know, causing water problems. And in other folk tales, they are helpful in different ways, like teaching healing or giving gifts, and sometimes, like in The Little Mermaid, falling in love with humans. So I wanted to incorporate merfolk into my stories, but I didn't want to use the traditional design of the half mammal, half fish. I would really prefer if it were all fish or all mammal. And what better time to work on some aquatic themed creatures than during Mermay? But to be honest, I'm not following prompts. But in the spirit of the month of May, when merfolk are abundant on the internet, I wanted to world build and design my aquatic folk. I definitely didn't want them to have hair or noses, and I went more for the fish design than anything. I even based their tails off of little guppy fishes with their splotty tails. I played with the idea of giving them clothing being like nets so that it would have a practical use, and instead of hair I made like a bit of a seaweed thing. Shawl's the word I'm looking for. I also played with the idea of what kind of structures these creatures would live in. I went for kind of like a coral-shaped object with holes in it that they would swim in and out of for protection. I also like the idea that these seaweed structures would be something that they plant there to harvest. So I couldn't stop at one page, I had to do another page, and on this one I decided to play around with the merfolk designs and do some more land-based aquatic people. Some of these are cute, some of them are chunky, and I really like them. I can see them living in rivers or swampland areas and harvesting things they find in the water. I especially like this little derpy guy up here I'm inking right now. I just like that he's looking up for no particular reason, and that's just how he exists. The fun part about working in a sketchbook is that I don't have to worry too much about color scheme. I was just trying to make interesting colored creatures, and some of these I liked and some of them I didn't like this yellow and green guy down here. I kind of like that combination. Otherwise, I just kind of painted what I felt was right. And I did a third page on my sketchbook. This one, I was really happy with how this sketch turned out, and I was really proud of my inking as well. I felt like I had gotten into the flow, and I really wanted to explore their home structures a little bit more. I really tried to add visual interest with different shapes, like the grasses and the coral shapes. And I couldn't be happier with how this sketch turned out and the final inking turned out. I could have taken more time to choose my colors a bit better for the rest of it, but like I said, it is a sketchbook. I can always redraw it later and choose different colors if I want. I think of all the colors I should change, it would be these yellow objects in the front. I don't think the yellow matches as much unless I changed everything else. But otherwise, I think this turned out really good. So that concludes my first and quite possibly last Mermay. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.